In this video, we will discuss about level design. My name is Krishna Kumar. I am going to teach a level design for you guys in this semester. First, we will talk about what is game, what is the purpose of the game, what are the process involved in level design, game design, and then we will discuss how we are interacting with the game, all these things. So one by one we will discuss. The first question is, what is game? So many of us are playing game, but we need to understand first what is a game. So there are many definitions and many meanings available for game. The first and simple definition is a game is something you play. In the childhood, we would have used toys to play. Even playing with the toys is said to be a game. We will be playing sports like tennis, football, basketball, baseball, cricket. Okay. So even card game, even though certain places it's avoidable. So, but simply saying playing with a toy is not enough. It is not narrowing down. It is not narrowing it down. So we need to have even more detailed definition for the PC game or any console game. Many of us would have played console games, either it might be Super Mario or today League of Legends or FIFA, the EA Sports, other type of games, action games, Battlefield, Witcher, Cyberpunk. So everything has a different meaning. So they say this simple term of a game is something you play will not narrow it down. So how we can able to narrow it down? So there are many people, academicians, the game designers have given certain definitions. We are going to see that. Games are an exercise of voluntary control system in which there is a contest between powers confined by rules in order to produce a disequilibrial outcome. This is said by Eldon and Brian Southern Smith. So again I will say, games are an exercise of voluntary control system in which there is a contest between powers confined by rules in order to produce a disequilibrial outcome. So here you can see there are three separate sentences. We will be breaking it into four and we will see how we can able to understand from these statements. So games are an exercise of voluntary control system. First, an exercise of voluntary control system. So that is, like play games are entirely willful. We are volunteering. We are volunteering. We are willingly we are participating to play a game. So there are many number of games getting released. There are many number of games getting released. but we are willingly playing in a particular game only. So not everyone will be interested in playing every game. Okay. So if someone likes basketball, they will be playing the basketball console game. If they like, some people like FIFA, they will be playing FIFA. If someone like an action game, they will be going for action game. Counter Strike, if they like that, they will be playing in the Counter Strike. So that's the only thing. It's all about voluntarily participating in that exercise. Second, a contest of power. Second, a contest of power. So this gives you an idea that to be the part of the game, part of the most game. So, for example, if we are playing in a multiplayer game, what happens? Any one of the player is trying to dominate the other player. If we are playing in a group game, what happens? A group will be trying to dominate the other group. Okay, same thing. If we are playing against AI, PC, computer, we will be trying to dominate the computer and the computer will be trying to dominate ourselves. Okay, so this is all about striving for dominance. That is, I will be trying to dominate the other player and the other player will be trying to dominate me. Okay, so this leads to games have goals. The goal is to win. In FIFA, it is all about putting a goal. In basketball, we need to get the points by putting the ball in the basket. So, whoever has the more points at the end time, they will be declared as a winner. Games have conflicts. The conflicts will be different from one another. The conflict will be different from one another. The conflict will not be same for each and every game. In action game, it is different. In Street Fighter, it is different. In Battlefield, it is different. In strategic game, it is different. Okay. So in sports, it is different. Okay. So in shooting game, what is the conflict? We'll be trying to shoot each other. In action game, in fight game, we will be fighting with each other and we'll try to overcome other participant. In sports games, that is FIFA, it is released by EA, and basketball, we will be trying to outsmart the other player. It might be AI, it might be other player, multiplayer, which we are going to play through online. Okay. The third thing is confined by rules. Confined by rules. Here, every game has an important thing. This is one of the most important thing when it comes to level design. In game design, level design is one part, and when it comes to confined by rules, it is the most important point in game design. Games have rules. Okay, games have rules. So without rules, games will be an infinite thing. It is kind of infinity. So without rules, there is nothing to play there. So the beauty of the game is it has rules. The beauty of the game is it has rules. Toys do not have rules. Yeah, certain toys have. 19% of the toys doesn't have rules. Okay, so that is the difference between a PC game or console games. That is the biggest difference. Toys don't have rules, but games have rules. Okay, so rules are definitely one of the defining aspects of the game. Rules are definitely one of the defining aspects of the game. See, for example, we take a certain old game, Super Mario, for example. So you'll be walking, and if there is one kind of a mushroom or something comes, you need to jump over that. You should not touch that particular mushroom. Can be touched to gain a power. Certain other objects cannot be touched. Okay. So we can use this particular mushrooms to gain power. He will be growing up. Certain mushrooms are different. So growing up, certain animals, the kind of character will be the villain character. We cannot touch that. We cannot fall inside the pit. Okay, we cannot touch the carcass. Okay, so for even biggest very good example, simple example, in your browser there is a game. There is a game. What happens when the dinosaur touches the crow or the carcass? The game is ended. That is the rule. The dinosaur animal cannot touch the carcass or the dinosaur cannot touch the crow. Okay. So that is the most, these are the important rules. These are the important rules which will be framed in the game. These rules make the game very interesting. See, the most important part of the game is how much surprise aspect is there in the game. So certain players doesn't like more difficult games. Certain players like challenges. Hardcore gamers like challenges. As a level designer, our most important task is to make the game challenging. Each and every level if we cross, it should be challenging. Uncharted. Some other game. Avengers. The new Avengers. The Guardian of the Galaxy. Battlefield. All these things. Each and every level, if we are going to go from one level to another level, it is more difficult. The challenging will be high. Cyberpunk. The challenge from one level to another level is high. Take the sports. One team will be very less compatible when compared to other teams. In FIFA, for example, what happens? You cannot play the same way you are playing against Manchester City. Okay. Norwich City will be less difficult than playing against Manchester City. In the basketball game, so certain teams will be highly powerful or more pro level when compared to the other team. Okay. So this is the level. This is the level we are talking about. So this is how we need to design the game, and the challenge level should be high. The fourth thing, a disequilibrium outcome. The rules produce a disequilibrium outcome. So most important thing when it comes to game is that either we will win or we will lose. Either we will win or we will lose. Okay. So yes, in FIFA, if there is two equal points, if I am going to score 2 goals and the other player is also going to score 2 goals, there is a draw. But the same thing cannot be done in the challenges. Okay, champions level. We need to go for extra time. In rival, it is draw. In squad battle, we need to go for extra time. Then comes the penalties. Okay. So this is how this particular rule says. So this equilibrium outcome. Equilibrium is a very interesting word. It does not simply mean unequal. It instead implies that at one time there is equilibrium, but that is when lost. In other words, things start out even, but then somebody wins. See, it's even. See, first, even if you are going to start with any character in a strategic game, same resource you will be having, same resource the other person will be also having, other player will be having. But the way you guys play, the way you guys take a decision, the way you guys allocate your resource, at the end of the game, somebody wins. At the end of the game, somebody wins. How this decision is made? Through what are the steps we have taken, to what are the activities we have done. So, for example, I am playing an Age of Empire game or any particular game where strategy is more important or steps taken by a particular player is more important. So, I allocate the resource, whatever having in my hand, for research. But the other player allocates his resource for the military appliances and he tries to attack other city. If he captures that city, okay, he is a winner. If the other players try to defend that in some other way, try to defend the city, and he overcome that player, okay, he completed all the researches and he can able to overcome other player who didn't concentrate on research, who didn't concentrate on developing the particular set of rules or set of new items can be allocated for his city. So this is the activities, this is the strategies, this is a kind of rules which we will be framing. One thing is bigger than other thing in some other way. Certain things will be fast, certain things will be more composure. Certain times composure wins the speed, certain times speed wins the composure, certain times reaction will be high, certain times balance will be high. These are the mechanics we are talking about. Okay, so we won't go into that more detailed. These are the things. Okay, it's all about certain people, certain players. For example, in the basket, certain people will be very good in blocking, certain players will be very good in shooting in the basket, certain players will be very good in long shot, certain players will be very good in passing. Correct players should be used in correct position, or else we will be having this particular issue. Okay, so from these definitions, what we will be learning is that games are entered willfully, games have goals, games have conflict, games have rules, games can be won and lost. Games can be won and lost. Okay. So these are the certain other definitions. When it comes to games, see, a game is a closed formal system that engages players in structured conflict and results in an unequal outcome. The same thing, see, previously we are discussing about a academic point of view definition, but this is a definition which is given by the people who are developing games. Okay, so there are two different things. So we will see this thing and we will discuss this now. Okay, so a game is a closed formal system that engages player in a structured conflict and results in an unequal outcome. Okay, so first thing is engage players. It is a good point that players find games to be engaging. See, from the mental perspective, from the psychological perspective of humankind, we should be engaged in the game. We should be engaged in the game. So it's not like that we are just playing game and leaving it off, switching off and we are leaving. No, it's not like that. We need to engage ourselves. We need to engage ourselves. Okay, it's not about switching on the system. Yeah, I have played the game. Yeah, I have won the game. Just switch off and leave. No, we need to make the people engage in it. Okay, so example is when we try to make a person think about a game in his free time, then as a designer, you have done a very good job. As a designer, they have done a very good job. See, certain games coming up with the gambling kind of using the real money. So I am not with that certain extent. So I'm, but thing is, when we try to make the people to play, engage themselves in a particular game for a long time, so without making them to get bored. Okay, this is where the aspect of making the people to surprise themselves in after each level. So this is where our level design comes. So making the people to think, okay, this is very difficult. Okay, we have gone across a particular level. This is kind of a difficult. We need to solve this issue in a different way. See, this game is not about just control, moving, maneuvering the particular avatar or any player or any 3D model or a rigid model, rigid object available in the game. It's all about mental aspect as well. Yes, there are many violent games. Yes, there are many other games as well, which gives many other aspects in the human life. So this is how we make the people engage themselves in a particular game. So good games have and will make the players mentally immersed and engage themselves in it. Witcher is a very good example. That's why it have won many awards. In the other case, Cyberpunk had many negative comments. It didn't make that 12 years we have waited for that particular game, but we didn't have that grasp. The game doesn't have that grasp which made the people to love that game. In every aspect, it created problem because that 12-year wait. The people thought that it will be giving a very big outcome. No, but the outcome is very less. But Witcher, it's in a different level. It's Skyrim, which have used open world game mechanism. These things are in a very different level, actually. So, second is a closed formal system. Second is a closed formal system. So, system means games are made of interrelated elements that work together. Okay, so the object, for example, a basketball player will be having the basketball. They are interrelated. The rules, the way he moves in the playing field. And formal is just a way of saying that the system is clearly defined, that it has rules. Closed means it has boundaries. The system has boundaries. You cannot maneuver everywhere. You cannot walk in the water. You cannot swim in the land. These are the things which you need to be very careful. And you can see many many different bugs created in the game. The set of rules which we frame, you cannot go inside the water and you cannot just walk in the water for more time. There are breathing space available. There are mechanisms. We can add rules that you need to swim in the water. You need to you need to check the timing for the breathness, how many seconds you can give. Once that particular second or threshold is going out, you need to come out of the water. Okay. So we can even tell this is the edge. Say for example, as Assassin's Creed, you cannot go beyond a certain level because it will be foggy in the map, you can say. If you're going out of that, you can be given as a message unsynchronized area something, and you will be thrown out. Either the game ends or will be thrown back to the inside. Certain games will not allow you to walk beyond that border. Okay. So Johann Huizinga have called it a magic circle. Actually, it is a kind of a magic feeling when we are in a mentally in the game. We have very different thoughts, feeling, values than when we are out of the game. So, as I said, certain people will be questioning. This is just a game, nothing more than a set of rules, but it has an effect on human nature. It has an effect, and without that, a person won't come every day and play a game. He will be coming out of the college, or he can be in working somewhere. It can be even a stress relief criteria. Yes, certain games is stressful rather than stress relief, but I am talking about the game which gives you a stress relief. So yeah, the stressful games are always games which we play in the multiplayer arena. So which gives us even more stress when we are not winning or something. We are trying to fight out our ability there. So all these aspects we need actually to understand what is the game. So once we have understood what is a game, it is very difficult for us to design a game. It is very easy for us to design a game. So we as ourselves, as a designer, we need to think in such a way that how we can impress the people. How we can impress the people in such a way that how we can make them play the game, engage themselves in the game, forget about other things. Okay. So as we have seen all these dialogues, all these definitions till now, we can come to certain degree. Games are entered willingly. Yes, volunteers. Games have goals. Games have conflict. Games have rules. Games can be won and lost. It's not like that we will always win. It's that we might lose as well. Games have rules. It's a very important thing. Games are interactive. We are going to interact with them. We are going to interact with the buttons. We are going to interact with the keyboard. We are going to interact with the leaves. We are going to interact with the trees. We are going to interact with the other NPC. Games have challenges. That is the challenge we need to overcome. The challenge which we are going to face in every level. The challenge which you are going to face till we go to the end line. That is the challenge which we are going to frame each and every level. Games can create their own internal value. Games engage players and they are closed and formal systems. It's a closed boundary. So regarding that boundaries and other mechanisms, we will talk even further. So in other perspective, when we are trying to see what is a game is a problem solving activity. You guys would have seen or you guys would have studied programming, I hope. So even in the games, we will be trying to solve problems. Pathfinding is a problem activity. Even in programming, we have pathfinding. Okay. For example, in Pokemon, what we will do to catch a particular character, particular Pokemon character, Either we'll be walking in the grass, either we'll be, for example, we need to find a water Pokemon, we will be traveling in the water. If we are going to find a mountain-based character or a ghost-based character, depending on the situation and area, only the Pokemon we will receive. Fire Pokemon. So all these things we will be receiving, we can able to find these type of Pokemons in the particular area. What we are doing, we are problem solving, we are solving the problem there. We are trying to solve a problem there. We are definitely, yes, see, as a person, we are going to define the problem. As a designer, we are going to define the problem. Okay, as a designer, we are going to define the problem. We are going to set the rules. As the players who play the game, they are going to solve this problem. They are going to solve this problem. So how am I going to create a problem here? See, the problem for you is, you will be given a 90 minutes, you need to score a goal, and I will be stopping you there. When you are coming to with a ball, I am going to stop you there. How you are going to solve? I am going to maneuver. I am going to maneuver around the field and I am going to score the goal. That is the solve. That is the activity which you are going to make yourself do. But as a designer, we are going to give them the problem. We are going to give them the challenging problem. We are going to make them interact and make them interested to play the game again and again. See, the game which is very difficult or which challenging is more, that is not too much challenging. The same thing, interactive. It is more likable game and compared to the games which is very easy. What is the purpose of a game which is designed and which is won or completed in some hours? The game should be played at least for 22 hours or more than 100 hours. Okay, that's why these multiplayer games are very popular, because every day they are playing against some other people and they are coming up with different challenges. It is more interesting when compared to others. Okay, so this is the thing. This is how we need to design the game. When we are designing a game, we should see in a perspective that we are going to create a problem for the player, and the player is going to solve that to succeed in the game. Okay, so what problems does my game ask the player to solve? Or this is the question. Are there hidden problems to solve that arises as part of the game? That is how we need to create the game. How can my game generate new problems so the players keep coming back? Okay, so as we discussed. So these are the things we need to keep in our mind when we are designing the game. These are the most important aspects. This might be very simple theoretical terms, but it creates a very big and very powerful theoretical aspect and very powerful theoretical concept. Okay,